development and focus on AGI are paused for 8 weeks to quickly improve ChatGPT as a result of the red alert. Good morning, everybody. I'm covering the latest AI news and updates. We are still waiting for the new version of ChatGPT. It looks like it will be coming out on Thursday. Generally, OpenAI do their releases. They do their big conferences on a Thursday. So it looks like they are sticking to that schedule. They've been in code red since last week, and some people were expecting them to panic release something just to get it out the door. We're going to look at speculation about what 5.2 is. We're also going to look at ChatGPT's new image model, which they have apparently been working on, and people have found it being tested in public. But first, I want to talk about McDonald's, because McDonald's have been, according to The Independent, absolutely muck-skewered for creepy and depressing AI-generated Christmas ad. So they put out a Christmas ad like Coca-Cola, put it on YouTube, and everyone hated it. The comments got turned off quickly because people were so angry with McDonald's. And then very shortly afterwards, they took the video down. Now, I actually downloaded the video, so I have a copy. Thought something like this might happen, so I grabbed it. I'll have a look at it in a moment. I will also post it up in the newsletter so you can get access to it and have a watch yourself. It's pretty bad. Not a good advert. It's crappy looking AI. I can see why people get annoyed, but it's talking to a large issue here of the use of AI in creative fields, taking jobs from actors, reducing film crew that are required to get these shots, all things that reduce the cost of creating the video. And that is precisely why this is being done. This is about cost. This is about saving money. This is primarily about McDonald's making more money by spending less. But then I'll scan through the video and talk about AI in creative fields. It's not something I'm supportive of. I think it's one of the more grim and gross uses of artificial intelligence, which is why pretty much all of my content is personally focused on personal productivity, professional productivity, using AI in your daily life to start businesses and to become more efficient. It's not so much focused on the creative fields. So you've probably noticed I don't talk that much about video, imagery, or audio in my content. This is why I think there are better uses. McDonald's absolutely muck-skewered for creepy and depressing AI-generated Christmas ads. This is the problem when you release something and want to delete it from the internet. It's really hard to do. The Independent have a copy. You can watch it on their website. Many other people have a copy, so you cannot just delete something you're embarrassed about anymore. It doesn't work. McDonald's in the Netherlands has been skewered online over its 2025 Christmas commercial created entirely by artificial intelligence. So following on from companies like Coca-Cola have now done 2 years worth of AI adverts. People don't really like them, but they did another one this year. McDonald's thought, yeah, let's jump in on that and let's use artificial intelligence. This specifically is one Christmas advert for the Netherlands. They're making different Christmas adverts all over the world. I don't know how many, maybe 100. One of them is using artificial intelligence, and it's created by a partnership between the US agency TBWA and the production company The Sweet Shop. That's a lot like The Sweatshop. It features several AI-generated people and families all experiencing mishaps in the lead up to Christmas, including presents falling off car roofs, exploding Christmas trees, and carol singers performing in icy conditions. There's a lot of physical comedy. This guy getting blown out of his window, people falling over, someone falling off a tree. There's a cat at one point which looks very AI. The problem with physical comedy in particular is that it's physical. It requires physicality to sell the illusion. That cat, the physics and gravity of that fall don't work. It does not look real. The collapse of the tree doesn't look real. Trying to do physical comedy is hard when you're not using physical objects. The whole thing doesn't quite land. For the physical comedy to work, it needs to be humans. The whole thing, for me, falls flat. I think as a creative exercise, doesn't work very well, which is a shame, because AI can be used in production. It is being used in production. This is the thing that people aren't talking about. It is 100% being put into workflows for video games, for film, photography, adverts that will continue to be used extensively. It needs to be used well to produce a good advert. I don't think this succeeds because it lacks physicality. This is beside the ethical and moral issues of using AI in the creative industry. But I can see why people saw this advert and they're like, it's a bit crap. I agree, it does not look very good. I will post this in the newsletters. You can watch it yourself and make your own opinions of the artistic merit of it. Again, aside from the moral and the ethical, that's something else we can talk about. But as a whole, the advert itself is whatever. But remember, this is going to be one of hundreds of adverts that McDonald's put out for Christmas. What I imagine, this is maybe giving them too much credit, but it could be a test. Basically, hey, we're going to do 50 different global Christmas campaigns this year. Let's try one with AI. Let's see what happens. Let's see how much that will cost us and what the reaction will be. And the other 49 will be unaffected. Or more cynically, hey, if we do one with AI, it's going to get a lot of attention, positive or negative. People are going to be talking about us. There's no such thing as bad publicity. The fact that they're now taking it down would suggest not. But what it has done is triggered people to make their own versions of the Christmas ad, human-made versions of the Christmas ad, to show McDonald's, hey, this is much better than what you created. So they've got user-generated content off the back of it. I don't know if they've thought it through that much. Maybe that's just me being cynical. People are talking about McDonald's. The Independent goes through it all. Comments off the YouTube video were taken down because people were very angry. The messaging of this ad is literally, F Christmas, F your family, eat McDonald's instead. A soulless AI advertisement to promote your slop and denigrate Christmas seems slightly demonic. AI didn't make this from. Let's talk about this. The AI company behind it, called the Sweet Shop, not the Sweatshop, the Sweet Shop, they came out and said, oh, actually, we worked really hard on this, which has led to more people teasing them and saying, what the hell are you talking about? You just typed in some prompts. The Sweet Shop put out a whole statement about their workflow and all the steps they had to go through and how it's like making a real movie. The response to that was not very positive. They say, AI didn't make this film, we did. The Sweet Shop director, Melanie Bridge, said. And one social media user replied, it genuinely pains me when reading about AI and people use phrase like writing AI prompts like it's something to be proud of artistically. I cannot believe our advancement of society is the plague of AI, wrote another. As I mentioned, I'm not particularly pro using artificial intelligence in creative endeavors. I think AI is best used in work that we don't want to do ourselves. I think AI is fantastic for automating the mundane and taking us to a place where we have more free time for creative endeavors. We have more time to write, sing, create music and film. The creative industry is an industry, and these tools are going to be used to produce a lower cost product, like adverts in this case, in order to make more money. We have to separate how we use AI specifically and how the industry uses AI. I'm a big fan of using AI to free up my time. I work a couple of hours a day and AI does a lot more of it, and my business runs off the back of that. And to improve our lives and to give ourselves more time for what is truly human. That can be connecting with people, spending time with our family, creating art, whatever, rather than using AI to replace human creativity and to replace the parts of the human experience that are genuinely positive. I think that is a bad use of AI. This is personal, but I think it is important that we all work out for ourselves what parts of AI we're interested in and what parts we are not interested in, because it is not a monolith. And so I get accused of supporting AI music, destroying the music industry, and AI video that's destroying Hollywood and stuff. No, not me personally. Some people want to support all of that stuff, but not me personally. And it's important that we all work out what uses of AI we believe are valuable and what uses of AI we believe are not valuable. I actually wanted to shout out this guy because he's fantastic. It's Sergio. It's Sergio on Instagram. He's a film director and producer, and he has these amazing skits where he is, I'll pull one up for you, but go and watch them yourself. So it's him acting as a casting agent, talking to AI actors and trying to get them to read their sides and to audition them for certain roles. And the AI actors are comically bad. So it's well worth watching, and I will put a link. I'm not going to start watching now, but I will put a link in the newsletter because they're fantastic. And I agree with him on replacing actors with AI is a bit gross. That is not a very beneficial use of artificial intelligence, but that does not mean we need to throw out all uses of AI. Life is more complex, has more grey areas. We use AI in valuable uses for automating work, getting rid of the mundane, and then we have more time to work on the human. I'm going to hop over to some comments. Good morning, everybody. I don't think the cat clip is that bad, says X. The physics of it doesn't come together. When you watch the whole advert through, because it's such short clips, it's 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Once a handful of those clips don't land because of the lack of physicality, lack of gravity in the scene, because my brain's already, that looks weird, that's not quite right. By the time it gets to the cat, I was like, okay, this is not very well implemented. Now, of course, the AI video is going to get better. Lots of people are dumping on it, saying it looks crap. Remember Will Smith eating spaghetti. Will Smith eating spaghetti is probably the best benchmark we have. A couple of years ago, no, I'm not opening Facebook. A couple of years ago, it was this monstrosity on the left-hand side. He looks demonic, and thankfully we don't have the sound on. It's disgusting. This is Will Smith eating spaghetti in 2023 using the new Kling 2.6 model in 2025. This was last week, so a 2-year gap. These technologies are not static. So anything that we laugh at now will probably be an awful lot better in a year or so. So we can laugh at Will Smith eating spaghetti from 2 years ago, but we have to remember this stuff is moving very fast. Okay, let's hop over to, so yesterday on the live, somebody asked me about Copilot. They said, why don't you talk about Copilot? Do you ever use Copilot? Not really. So Copilot is Microsoft's artificial intelligence. It sits inside of their ecosystem of products. So Microsoft have a 365, oh God, the names are terrible, 365 Microsoft Copilot or 365 Office Copilot, which sits inside your enterprise. And Copilot is both the central AI that powers everything and the name of the individual copilots that are implemented inside of the software. So PowerPoint has a copilot, Excel has a copilot, etc., etc. It's quite confusing. There's also different levels. So if you just use Copilot like on your phone, that is going to be like a ChatGPT, basically. It's a chatbot called Copilot. And then they have another level, which is the 365 Copilot, which is the one that you need to be an organization, then you pay for it on top of your 365 license. It's a mess. It's a huge mess. I just realized I have something on my camera. That's no good. And so somebody asked in the live, why don't you talk about Copilot? The main reason it is not very good. So when I do go and work with Microsoft, organizations that use Microsoft as their ecosystem, none of them like using AI because Copilot is not good. What Copilot is built on ChatGPT, because remember Microsoft own about 27% of OpenAI, and they were early funders and they work together collaboratively. It is ChatGPT under the hood, but then Microsoft have layered on additional guardrails, additional safeties, they've connected it to their own applications and stuff, and the actual implementation isn't good. It feels like using AI from years ago. It feels like using ChatGPT 3 or something like that. I thought I was being mean about Microsoft. I read this article yesterday saying Microsoft has a problem. Nobody wants to buy or use its shoddy AI products as Google's AI growth begins to outpace Copilot products. So basically, I was already dumping on Microsoft. And apparently in the last week, Microsoft have told their sales division, the people who are selling the AI products, that they can halve their sales targets. The reason for this is supposedly there's no demand. Organizations are not like banging on the door saying, please integrate AI into our Microsoft accounts. There is no demand. The market knows this is a weak product. A recent report detailed how Microsoft's internal AI efforts are going awry with cut forecasts and sales goals for its Azure AI products across the board. The information said that Microsoft salespeople are struggling to meet goals owing to a complete lack of demand. Microsoft denied the report, but in market share trends, all of which point to Google Gemini surging ahead. So Google offer the alternative ecosystem for your business. So you could use Microsoft, where you're using Outlook for email, Microsoft OneDrive, Excel, and all the products. So that's one ecosystem you can use. Or you can use Google. So Google Workspaces, which means your email is run by Gmail. It's not at gmail.com, but it is your company domain, but under the hood it's Gmail. You're using Google Drive, you're using all of their products as well. So these are two different ecosystems. There are others, but these are two of the largest. Google has Gemini and is implementing AI well into their products, whereas Microsoft is not. Moving your company from one ecosystem to another is really difficult, incredibly difficult. And we're talking about, let's say you have 100 employees and you're moving over all their email addresses, all of their documents, etc. That's a huge task. Nobody wants to do that. So this doesn't necessarily mean people are going to leave Microsoft to go to Google because of AI. However, Microsoft need to remain competitive because people are going to start getting very annoyed otherwise. So is Microsoft even on AI chatbot usage chart? Google Gemini is rising quickly. It is the new entrant, basically. Obviously, they've been around for a few years, but they are now the threat to OpenAI and the threat to ChatGPT. Microsoft don't even have their own artificial intelligence. They have something called MAI, It has a cute avatar, like Clippy, a blob, but it hasn't really been in the game. They don't produce their own models yet. So they've been using ChatGPT, but a stunted version. And unfortunately, this means that people do not want to use their AI, and Google are pushing out ahead. And this is going to have an impact down the line with enterprise and business deployment of IT infrastructure, not just AI, but the whole ecosystem. I'll put this in the newsletter tomorrow. It backs up what I was saying about Copilot not being very good. That was entirely anecdotal from me and people I talk to who use it, but they're having real problems selling it because there is no demand. Hopefully they can get in the game because we like competition. We want competition. Frank is saying most organizations using MS Copilot don't use the Copilot notebooks function to help with their usage. Also, Google's products are native and Microsoft are building on other people's products. Yeah. So Microsoft are currently, because they don't have their own frontier model released, they are building on top of ChatGPT and Claude. They've added in the ability to use that. It is not their own AI. Arguably, they own 27% of OpenAI, ChatGPT, but it's still, they're one of the large companies that does not have their own large language model. So they and Apple are looking a bit shaky moving forward. I'm going to check some questions and then talk about ChatGPT 5.2, which is not out yet. Grasshopper says, that's why I left Office 365 and Windows, and don't get me started on Recall. I forgot about Recall. Yeah, poor Microsoft. They haven't had a very smooth couple of years with artificial intelligence. Okay, so that's interesting. So we have someone in chat saying, I actually left the Microsoft ecosystem, so because of this. I forgot about Recall entirely. Any credible platform learn pro vibe coding? So this is not a platform for vibe coding, but for learning. For doing, Cursor's really good. That's why I use personally. Lovable is great if you've never done any coding before. If you've never vibe coded, start with Lovable. Eventually you might want to look into Cursor. In terms of learning though, I would check out Marcin's. So my friend Marcin runs a school. It's called AI Builders. He has a 21-day challenge to help you get your first app built. And then it's a very supportive community with people who are actually building, which is fantastic. So I highly recommend joining that. That's 500 members. This is not free. It's $50 a month, but it is a very active and very supportive community. I'm in there answering questions. I was in there yesterday talking about SEO in Lovable, moderating for him. I also have my own community, which is free. I'm live in that community right now. I talk about vibe coding. I have a mini course called AI Building 101, which is AI tool ideas, launch preparation, and launching. I have in my catalog a bunch on vibe coding. Get started with vibe coding your business and vibe coding. These are two mini courses, each about 12,000 words. So they're free. On my website, if you go along to my website and you join up, you can either join the community or the newsletter, and you'll be given all of the resources and sent them automatically. If you're looking for a more structured way, check out Marcin's school. It's Marcin. And if you put in Marcin and school or AI Builders school, that's going to pop up for you. And school is spelled SKOOL. So they'll be the ones I recommend. Sprina also has a building community, female only. Mine is free. Did you ask, is yours paid? No, it is free. You have paid courses. I have paid accelerators. I don't have any paid courses. So all the courses are free on here. Oops, daisy. Thank you, Adblock. That's very helpful. All courses are free here. So there's a 10-week course here. AI Building 101 is here. I do have paid accelerators where we work together for 30 days with a community to get the work done. They take time, but the courses themselves are free. So that's all at aiwithkyle.com. In terms of learning vibe coding though, just start building. You'll learn quickly by doing. It's a weird one because AI coding is changing so quickly that anything that you learn from a course 6 months ago will not necessarily be relevant now. The good news is all of the tools are getting easier. So if something wasn't covered from a course 6 months ago, it won't matter because the tools are getting so good. Really just come up with a project idea. This is why this particular one I wrote, AI Building 101, starts with you need to work out what your idea is. Start with that and then just get started. The basic process is once you've got an idea, you go to Claude or ChatGPT and say, this is what I want to build. This is my technical level. This is what I've done before. This is the tool I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using Lovable. I'm going to be using Cursor, whatever it is. I want it to be an app that lives on telephones, or I want it to be a web app. You tell it your end goal is, how do I do this? Ask Claude or ChatGPT to help you put together a project plan based on your skills and level. You can ask it to make it stepwise instead of trying to build the whole thing in one shot, like user logins, payment portals, dashboards, analytics. You don't want to do all of that in one go because it's going to be spaghetti. It's going to be an absolute mess. So instead you say, when you're building your project plan, I want to build the basics, make sure the functionality is working, then go step by step, adding on the feature set until we have the whole thing. And then you take that project plan, you take it over to your vibe coding tool and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to build. Assess this, give me some feedback, and then create the documentation, create the folder structure, and let's get started. And then you just work through the project bit by bit with your coding tool. That's the skinny on how you actually build stuff that is worthwhile. Apart from that, just start building and you'll learn. If you run into problems, let's say you've got a compiling problem and your app's not coming together, all you need to do really is get the code, the error code, the debug code, the failed compile code, or whatever it is, take it back into your vibe coding tool and say, hey, this is what's going wrong. What do you think this is? How can we fix it? Give me some alternatives, etc. You work with the tool in order to get better at the task. There are more sophisticated levels. You can learn to code, learn architecture, DevOps. That all comes later. Just start building for now. That is my recommendation. There are tools that give you free credits. Antigravity is free. Google Antigravity. You can download. Individual plan is $0 a month. A plan for anyone who wants to build. And that gives you access to Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Sonnet 4.5. Oh, and Opus 4.5. Really? Damn. And GPT OSS. That is the open source model of ChatGPT. I gave you Opus 4.5 access for free. That's very impressive. Opus 4.5 is an absolute beast. I gave it a big task yesterday while playing video games, and it worked for about 45 minutes and I nailed it. Opus is really good. It's also very expensive. So the fact that they are giving it away in Antigravity, it's pretty cool. So check out Antigravity if you're looking for a free way in, play around, hit problems, and then work through them. That's how you learn, basically. And if you need additional help, come into the community, my community, community.aiwithkyle.com, and ask, what do people think this is? I'm happy to jump in, and there'll be other people as well. Cool. Let's talk about, actually, let me check one more question, then we'll talk about GPT 5.2. No more questions. Awesome. Let's talk about ChatGPT. Probably coming tomorrow, GPT 5.2, codenamed Garlic. It is the code red reaction to Google Gemini 3, which came out a couple of weeks ago and caught OpenAI with their pants down because Gemini 3 is very good. It's the first time OpenAI have really been challenged over the last couple of years, and people are actually downloading and using Gemini, which they were not doing before. A lot of that is Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro, which is fantastic. But whatever the reason, it has put OpenAI into a panic mode. They ordered a code red about a week and a half ago, and everyone was told to stop every other project and to focus on Garlic, which is GPT 5.2. From Twitter, GPT 5.2 is set to release this week. Apparently, executive overruled employees who wanted to push the launch back so they would have more time to improve the model. What's the source of this? OpenAI is set to release a new model called 5.2 this week that executives hope will give it momentum, particularly amongst coding and business customers. Okay, that's interesting because they've already put out Codex Max, which is pretty good. They overruled some employees who asked to push back the model's release so the company could have more time to make it better, according to people familiar with the matter. The company plans to release another model in January with better images. I'm going to talk about this in a moment, improved speed and a better personality, and to end the code red after that, Altman has said. An OpenAI spokeswoman says there's no conflict between the two philosophies and a broad adoption of AI tools and how the company plans to distribute AGI's benefit. A couple of things going on. The image model has apparently been cited. Now, whenever we see this kind of this klaxon alarm on a tweet, we need to be cautious because people hype nonsense, but this seems legit. This model has been seen in Design and LM Arena, and people think it's the new image gen model inside of OpenAI. OpenAI's image generation has been a bit crap. They have DALL-E 3 and they haven't really updated it, and it's just been blown out of the water by Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro. The image generation in ChatGPT has this weird yellow tint, this piss filter people call it, which I covered this on another show. maybe came from overtraining from the Studio Ghibli images. There were so many Studio Ghibli images out there that it tainted the image gen data. This is what people are seeing. What people have noticed in particular is its happiness, its willingness to do celebrities. I love this picture here because this is like a really jacked Paul Rudd, but to me, he looks somewhere between John Hamm and Paul Rudd. And I can see both of them. It's like one of those optical illusions. To me, that's a bit uncanny valley. He's between Paul Rudd and John Hamm. It's not perfect, but recognizable. The Rock's looking weird too. What's happened to the Rock's head? He's got the Andreessen forehead. The photo quality is better than the DALL-E 2 model. The resolution is not very high, but that could just be the upload. But what's got people excited is the fact they can do celebrities. Previously, OpenAI have been fairly cagey on this. They've always put up guardrails, they've put in ethical policies and meant that you can't generate celebrities, you can't necessarily generate copywritten material. Mickey Mouse punching Sonic the Hedgehog was a no-no. This might point to some relaxations. Whenever they release something, Sora 2 was the most recent that I can think of, they tend to release with very few guardrails. That allows them to get the viral moment where everyone is creating images, creating videos, sharing them. That allows them to own the narrative and to be the biggest model and to be the most seen for a short amount of time. And then a week or two later, close the doors and stop allowing people to generate copywritten material. They might be doing something similar here. I would not be surprised. The other thing is it can do text. So I'm not seeing any problems here. That looks good. Obviously, they're going to choose good photos. But this is one of the things that Nano Banana Pro can do well. It can generate text within an image. It's solved that problem, which is fantastic because you can make infographics, etc. It looks like this new OpenAI model potentially can do the same. I don't see any issues. This seems to be a copywritten icon and image, no problem. The top comment is, this is the worst picture ever generated by AI. Images still don't live up to Nano Banana Pro. They have plasticky faces, but it's much better than GPT Image 1. Somebody said no piss filter. As I was saying, the previous image generation had this very yellowy filter on everything. So with ChatGPT, they seem to have got rid of that. It might be releasing with a new image model. I'm not sure if that's enough to beat Nano Banana Pro. Nano Banana Pro is very good. However, GPT has distribution, about 800 million users. That means a lot of people would not have bothered to download Gemini to get Nano Banana Pro. A lot of people have no idea what Nano Banana Pro is. They do use ChatGPT. So this might blow people out of the water who aren't keeping up to date with news releases. They might suddenly be like, oh my God, this is the best thing on earth. ChatGPT might have a huge moment with this. Even if it's not better than Nano Banana Pro, because they have distribution in place, it might not matter. So Chubby or Kimonismus is not a leaker, but somebody who pulls together information and is genuinely very accurate on upcoming releases. So TLDR from the Wall Street Journal, 2 models are being released. Sora development and focus on AGI are paused for 8 weeks to quickly improve ChatGPT. So this is as a result of the red alert. Pausing AGI for 8 weeks is nothing, but in artificial intelligence, this seems like a big deal. Whereas when we think of this on a more historical, more human, a more scientific scale, 8 weeks it's nothing. They plan to release 2 models, one this week and one in January. The model in January is also supposed to have better images, improve personality, and end the code red. Okay, so we'll get the image model in January, and the one we're getting tomorrow is 5.2. I wouldn't be surprised if the one we get in January is 5.5. We generally have a 0.1, a 0.2, and then we jump to 0.5, so we'll jump to 6. Based on this, I guess we have 5.5 in January, and then GPT-6 in summer 2026. The company also plans to release another model in January with better images, improved speed, and a better personality. To end the code red after that, Altman said, this is from him directly, according to the Wall Street Journal, one of these models, GPT-5.2, is expected to arrive this week, tomorrow. OpenAI is set to release a new model called 5.2 this week that executives hope will give it new momentum, particularly among coding and business customers. But it sounds like the one tomorrow is an intelligence update, making it better at coding and business, whereas the one in January is going to be a more popular update with personality and image generation. Could be risky because people are still pissed off with them after 4.0 and what they did to 4.0 and the personality of ChatGPT, and 5.2 might be even more business focused, even more coding focused, which will upset the people who like 4.0. In order to withstand the headwind from Google, the development of Sora was paused for 8 weeks, as was the focus on AGI. There is an article, so I'll put the Wall Street Journal in the newsletter. I will remove the paywall for you as well, so you can access it. Don't tell them. Tomorrow we should be getting a new model. It doesn't sound like it's going to blow our socks off, but we'll see. Crader says, I'm new here, what are you teaching? I'm running through the AI news and updates of the day, basically helping people keep up to date with what on earth is going on, because AI moves so fast. But at the same time, I'll do little tutorials. I'm about to do one on Google Stitch. Google released, they've had something called Stitch for a while. They are doing a shipmas of their own for Google Stitch. Google's marketing is all over the place because they have so many products and divisions. They have 8 different vibe coding tools. AI Studio, they have Antigravity, they have Opal, they have Jules, they have, God, there's a bunch more. But they're all off doing their own thing, very Google fashion. Stitch, which is from Google Labs, and it's to focus on interface design using AI. They're running their own shipmas, not a Google shipmas, just Stitch. They have a new ship every day this week and a big launch today. I wanted to highlight the Redesign agent and see how well it's done. Well, it's not very good. Did it crash immediately? What you can do with Stitch now is upload, or you can give it your previous websites, and you can say, hey, I want you to rework this. It's a chat interface. I did this before coming on live because I knew it'd be slow. I gave it my web page, and it's awesome. Went off, and it did not read my web page, but it pretended to, and then it made something completely generic and just made something up and said, here you go. So that I wasn't impressed, but failed. So I screenshotted my front page and said, here you go. You didn't do anything right last time. Let's try again. So let's have a look. It has replaced me. I don't know who that man is. It has replaced my headline, Building the Future with Intelligent AI. That's terrible. Hi, I'm Kyle. I help businesses leverage large language models and AI to drive innovation and growth. Nope. How can I help? AI strategy consulting? Nope. Custom LLM development? Nope. AI systems integration? Nope. It's terrible. What's it done? All right. So the promise is a redesign agent where you can give it a page, your app, your product, whatever, and it will use Nano Banana to redesign and help you. The promise is cool. However, what it's done is terrible, basically. So what it's done is updated. The existing homepage has been redesigned with a focus on a more modern and clean aesthetic. Basically, it's made it black and white. This includes simplifying visual elements, it got rid of them all, updating typography and color palette, it's made it black and white, improving layout and spacing for readability and a less cluttered feel. It did not retain the core content, it deleted it. This could be a context issue because it's a long page, my homepage, so maybe it only looked at the top. Not terribly impressed. Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping this would be a cool tool to show off, but no, it is a bit half-baked, unfortunately. This is, again, I'm sorry to the Stitch team, maybe correct me and tell me I'm wrong and help me use it better, but Google put out an awful lot of product, a huge amount of product. As I said, they have maybe 5, 8, 10 coding tools. They have a lot of things that they just throw at the wall and see what sticks. The problem with that is most of them don't. So they actually have, somebody's put together this website called Killed by Google. It has 300 projects that have been launched and killed off at Google. This is just how they operate. They will run for, I don't know, a certain amount of time, and then they'll be like, okay, it's done. So Google Optimize, I used to use this. It was great. It went from 2012 to 2023. So that lasted 11 years. And they're like, kill it. Google Domains lasted 9 years, and then they killed it. So unfortunately, it means a lot of their products are a little bit half-baked. No offense. I do love you, Google, and the stuff you're doing. And Gemini is fantastic, and Nano Banana Pro is great. This, however, is not very good. It's added a call to action here. Ready to start a project? Let's connect and discuss how my AI expertise can benefit your business. Contact me for a project. Not good. I was going to say check out Stitch by Google and see if it can help you redesign your web page or app. I wouldn't bother. One thing they have done, though, which is cool, if the generation was better, is you can redesign, then pull the code from the redesign. You give it a screenshot of your web page, it will redesign it, and you can pull the code to your coding tool to work from. It just needs a better design process. Give it a shot, and if anyone can get a better result from it, please tell me, because I'm not impressed. That's clean. How fast did it take to make that site? This site is mine, all vibe coded. It's a mess because I'm not a good designer. I have no idea what I'm doing. This took 30 seconds. It's using Nano Banana to generate the image. So I can do predictive heat map. Makes no sense, but I can theoretically, here we go, export. So I can get the code. There we go. So that's really cool that it can generate an image and the code to bring it to my vibe coding tool. The promise of this is amazing. The design itself is crap, which is a vital part, unfortunately. Make sure you are subscribed to the newsletter. The newsletter comes out every single day, and it's going to be a summary of what's been covered in the live, for example. It has the YouTube video, specific resources and the tweets. Whenever I talk about a paper or link to an article, I'll add that into the newsletter. So this week, tomorrow, I'll add in the McDonald's video so you can see it yourself. I'll add in the Wall Street Journal article, but I will remove the paywall so that you can actually read it without having to pay the Wall Street Journal. If there's a study or anything like that, I'll make sure to include it in the newsletter. So that's free to join up to. At the same time, you can also join the community. So this is a free community where I do this live. This live is currently in the community. Plus, we discuss what's going on in the world of AI, and you can ask questions and find other people who are working on cool things. That is free, and you can join that at the same time as the newsletter. And also on the website are a bunch of courses. Again, this is all free. I'm just giving this away. There's a 10-week AI summer camp. This is to help you work out. Oh, the camera just went off. That's probably going to be the end of the live. This is a 10-week course which helps you work out what business you should start with artificial intelligence and build in public, vibe coding, building what people want, marketing, etc., like going through the process of doing that. And this is a chunky course. I want to say this is 100,000 words or so. So these are not just like little light. It's not just a PDF. This one's 123 lessons, several modules, a couple of hours of video, all for free. So it's all on the website. Head over to AI with Kyle and sign up using your email address. If you want, head over to YouTube. We've just crossed 10,000 subscribers, which is awesome. All of these lives I'm doing every day are edited, chopped up, and made easier to access to. So if you're looking for a specific piece of news, a specific coverage, then you'll be able to find it on the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Make sure you are in the newsletter and you've joined the community as well, because there's a lot of free stuff there. We're trying to help 1 million people get AI ready for the future, because there is a tidal wave coming and people are starting to realize that. So we want to make sure that everybody is ready for it. Fantastic, everybody. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow morning about the same time, 11 a.m. UK time. Cheers.